Howdy, I'm Scott Don with Lone Star Ultralight. In today's video, we'll be making a storage sack for my two quilts, and will also double as a bag for measuring the size of stuff sack I need to make for my backpack. Here I have some really cheap fabric I got at Joann's. It averaged out to about $1.70 per yard being on sale, and it was also the end of the bolt, which got an additional discount. I believe it is cotton. I have 2 yards here. It will be a roll top bag. So I will be making the bag nearly the same size as my pack. It will be made to fit down inside of it, be a square bottom. So this is what I've been storing my two quilts in. So up top, I have the underquilt that I made in the last video. That is 5-ounce climate shield. And then I have the top quilt here. This was one of, if not the first projects I ever did. It's the same shell materials as the underquilt, but it's 7.5-ounce climate shield. It originally started as a snap closure along here with a drawstring for the foot box, but I found that made my feet very cold with the hole in the bottom. Air would just come through and freeze my feet off, so I ended up closing it off not too long ago. This bag is the Mountain Flyer 40 liter from Bag Buff pattern, and if I remember correctly, it slightly tapers. But I'm just going to measure this top edge here, double that up. So it's pushing up against there. Pulled and tight, and that's 18 inches across. So I can go double that to 36. Cut that for the width across. And height-wise, if I did 36, I would make it about the same height as this bag completely. So I'm probably gonna do 45 inches high, I think. Or however wide the fabric is, actually will probably be what I do. It is about 43 inches wide. So I'm gonna do the height I cut at 48 inches. 36 inches there. And then just need to cut. So that's the blank there. Okay, so we're over here at the sewing machine. I'm going to use this edge as the top edge because there's less selvage on it. And this is the bottom. You can see there's a lot more here. You could just cut it off, but I'm being a bit lazy. So we're going to come up here. And this is the exact same as you'd make any stuff sack. It's just quite large. Now I'm going to do a 3/8 seam allowance because I feel like this material is more likely to fray than normal. When I do the actual dry bag, I'll be doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance on the DCF. But I'm going to do a lock stitch up here. Oh, come on. And it didn't want to feed there, so I had to tug it on through. Then I'm just going to go all the way down. I've got enough out that I can actually check my tension now. Tension was a bit funky up here. You might be able to see all that mess. Okay, so I'm at the bottom here, probably half an inch from the bottom. I'm gonna do a ½ inch along the bottom because of all the sellage here. Needle is down, stopped it down. I'm gonna turn it, just like that. Foot down, and then I did a lock stitch here at the bottom. Trim the threads, I just trim it as close as I can to the edge, saves time later. Come up to the top, trim that. We've got that sewn up here, but as you can see, this is not a square bottom. I'm gonna zoom you guys out. It's not a square bottom here. What you do is you pull out the sides, match up the seams. This is pretty easy to do with something like TCF where you can put a crease in it. Like that. We're going to fold this up to there, kind of creating this triangle here. There are two sides. And I'm actually going to quickly throw a few clips onto here to hold it. We're down here on the mat. Now let's just make sure that this is actually completely square. 8. It is an 8x8 square. I'm gonna grab the square here. So I'm gonna come out, I actually like place it perfectly, but come out from here to where I have 4 inches square running along that seam. Grab my chalk, do a line there. All right, it's a bit off. Because my 4 inches there is down there. This is probably one of the most challenging things you can do. I'm going to call the line actually there. Do. Back here at the sewing machine is stitch down here. I'm going to do a lock stitch here at the beginning. Now I'm at the seam here. I'm going to go over the sewage there, back stitch. I'm back across the seam, and I'm going to come back across. That just helps keep this from unfraying. Just do the same thing on the other side. Before we do anything, I'm going to stuff the quilts in here. Okay, so they're pretty loosely stuffed in there right now. So that's actually going to be a pretty good size for storage. I think it could slip under my bed pretty easily. So now I'm going to try and slide it. Into the pack. Right. So I stuffed it all down here to ensure that it actually fits, and it does. stuffed the quilt down, felt around, didn't feel really any like crinkles on the outside of the fabric. So it's pretty much filling up that fabric, and it was pretty tight to the back. There's still some room, but I like the way that that's feeling. It's not too snug, and it's not too loose, in my opinion. So that tells us that our sizing down here is good. And we're just going to cut. I do suggest looking at while you're cutting because I got a bit close there. Here's the webbing. It is, I think it's 3/4. Yep, 3/4 inch webbing. I do just want this across one edge. So I have the bag laid flat. Just stick the webbing there and stick it here. That's where it needs to be cut. Cut that. And then burn the ends to keep it from frying. Okay, so we're here at the machine. I'll line up my edge here. Pull the bag out to make sure I'm not sewing more than the one layer. Line this up along the edge here. Lock stitch is normal. And then we're just going to go down the edge here. That's the top edge done here. So now we're going to do the rolled hem. So I'm going to start with the webbing side because I can use that as a guide easier. I think it's easier to start with that. Okay. So on this side, I'm using the webbing as a guide. Of course, starting with the lock stitch, as always. I'm going to be running the needle 1/2 inch on this side, and I have a line on my tape here, which makes it easy. So that's our hem all done there. So I have my 3/4 webbing here. Looks like I have only one 3/4 inch buckle left. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of my webbing 4 inches long. Actually, at this point, we're going to be sewing on the outside. So we're going to turn the bag inside out. And I'm actually going to switch to my zipper foot. And I'm going to stitch right up against this buckle. So the first thing I'm going to do is a bar tack on the edge, just a bit inside. Inside that stitch. Coming down to the bottom edge there, turning. Turning again. So that's one side. It's primarily being held on by this bar tack here. Just kind of just a little bit of extra. Okay, so this buckle is always pretty difficult just because of the way it is. I'd like to find some that aren't adjustable for this purpose, but that's that done. Okay, so earlier I mentioned that I was going to be using cam snaps on the closure. I just kind of want to go over what those are really quick. So here we have the pliers that come with the kit. These are used for setting the snaps themselves. Very easy to use. You also get this awl here used for punching the holes. Then there are 3 pieces to the snaps. You have your back pieces here, which are used for both the male and female sides. There is smooth back with this post coming through. And it is pointed to help you get it through. Then you have the female pieces. Here, it's a little cup. This side here goes against the fabric, this side facing up. And then finally, you have the male side here, which has the stud and a flat back that goes against, and a flat back here that goes against the fabric. Those are the 3 pieces. When you're putting these together, the back piece here goes on this black piece. Ow. It's kind of rounded out to fully contact that piece. Okay. So I'm still not sure how many snaps I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do just 3. So the first one's going to be dead center here. I found the center. I'm going to poke through it. Okay, that stud should be long enough. Okay, so there's a hole. Now I'm going to poke the stud through there. Can't really see it on camera, but it's through there. Grab a female, put it on there. I'm going to grab the pliers, just like that, with the back side here, and just squeeze. And then there it's set. Yeah, much cleaner install. And so just like that. They do also come in different sizes. I believe these are size 20 snaps, but looking at the directions, it seems pretty easy if that's something you want to do. Okay, so that's all 3 snaps done. And then that's our bag. Here's our completed bag. You're going to take top coat first, stuff it in. And then undercoat. And I'm going to snap this closed. Honestly, that might just be how I leave it for storage, not even bother rolling it, because that seems pretty decent closure. I could do just a couple rolls just to kind of help keep dust and stuff out. And then that's storage bag. Let's see how tightly I can compress these quilts. I think at that point I'm actually starting to roll some of the quilts in. I think I could get smaller there. And of course test to see if it fits in the backpack. Which it does indeed do. Although I could definitely get those compressed more than I did. So that's it for this video. I will be doing a follow-up video once I get some DCF to make the dry bag. However, I do not know when that will be. That's it for this build.